Eusica, ¿cómo están? Estamos súper emocionados. Mark también. Bueno, estamos aquí con el increíble Mark Lettieri. De hecho, bueno, si no lo conocían y si no lo conocen...
Si viven debajo de una piedra.
Si viven debajo de una piedra. Es el guitarrista de Snarky Puppy. También tiene su otro proyecto de Fearless Flies. Y también tiene su proyecto solista con el que ha tenido ya 7 álbums solo. Y pues está increíble y pues bienvenido.
Welcome to Eusica,
Yeah,
Mark. How are you
Thank
doing?
you guys. Thanks very much. Good to be here.
How's your stay in Mexico been? Everything
Awesome. Yeah,
everything
we
good?
went to the sound. I'm gonna mess up the name.
No,
Sound check.
Sound Check Expo.
Yeah.
I keep wanting to call it Sound Exchange, but that's not it. Sound Expo. Sound Check Expo. I'm
Yeah.
real good today. Sound Check
Yeah,
Expo.
very
It was
good.
great. We did a master class. It was great to hang out with everybody. I saw some friends I hadn't seen in a long time, which was cool. Had some great dinner. You know.
Oh, that's so
I'm
cool.
good. Yeah, it's been a
Yeah.
nice.
Did you
little-
have tacos?
I had
Did you
tacos
have-
the first night, and then last night we went to a Sonoran steakhouse.
Okay,
place.
oh, nice.
Yeah, awesome.
How long have you been here in Mexico?
I got it on Monday.
On Monday.
On
Okay.
Monday,
Yeah,
okay.
This is day 3. Yeah.
Day 3, and you're
I
staying
leave
for...
tomorrow.
Oh, you're leaving
Unfortunately,
tomorrow.
I'm
So
leaving
sad.
tomorrow.
You have
So
to come
sad.
back.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah, you have to come
Yeah,
visit sometime.
Absolutely.
I mean, well, how was your first experience in the sound check? How you feeling with the people?
It's great. Everyone is super nice. I mean,
Oh.
very, very friendly and accommodating, and the crowd was really great. There were some really awesome questions, and everyone was really interested in what I was doing. So that
Nice.
makes me feel good. Yeah.
Well, obviously, you're such a great guitar player,
Oh, well,
man.
Shucks.
And of course, here we're going to talk also about a little bit of your playing. We're going to ask you some questions about your influences and about your history as a guitar player. So the first thing that we wanted to ask you is like, we obviously, when we're learning guitar, everybody always tells us about the importance of practicing consistently. But I think also it's very important to open up your ears to listen to some like new music that you're not used to. So the first thing that I wanted to ask you is, what are like some of the records that like expanded your ear and pushed you to be a better guitar player?
Oh, cool. Wow. I mean, there have been so many, you know. I'll just pick a couple at random.
Yeah,
maybe.
yeah.
I think.
Go ahead, man.
The first
Yeah.
ones that come to your
Okay,
mind.
sure. Well, when I was young, a teenager, I remember hearing Herbie Hancock's Headhunters album for the first time.
Okay.
And now, I came from a rock background, and so
Yeah.
hearing
Yeah.
that was like, what is this stuff? And then another record from a band from the United States called Soul Live. I don't know if you guys have ever heard of Soul Live. Really
Okay.
awesome,
No,
like funk
okay.
jazz trio.
I'm taking mental notes. So
And that record, Herbie Hancock, some Steely Dan stuff.
Oh, Steely Dan.
Okay.
All of that kind of music came into my life after I had, worn out all of my favorite rock artists,
Yeah.
Van Halen and ZZ Top and Leonard
Yeah,
Skinner.
of
And all
course.
that. I still listen to all that stuff, but it was a time where my mind was just looking for something else,
Okay.
for something different. And then, oh gosh, when I was in college, I got a record by this guitar player named Wayne Krantz, who was just an unbelievable alien of a guitar player, very rhythmic soloist. I would highly recommend everybody check out Wayne Krantz.
Okay.
Anyway, fast forward to now, all of those albums are now firmly planted in my head and
Yeah.
have helped me establish the sound that I have now. So
Great. Yeah.
yeah.
That's amazing. And talking about like albums, I saw that you told that you made your baritone album over email. So you did that album on distance, and that's really cool because there is many ways to produce an album. So I want to know how you felt producing that way, like
Yeah,
on
sure.
distance.
Well, it made sense. Well, one, it was during the pandemic, so that was a
right.
part
Yeah.
of it. but two, I had done stuff like that in the past, and generally, if you really know the people that you're calling to ask, and you know what they do, it's a very easy
It's very
process.
easy.
You know
Okay.
what you're gonna get.
Yeah.
And of course, I give direction and ideas, and I compose stuff for people to replay sometimes, and other times just tell them,
Do you prefer it that way or in person?
I could go either way, It's definitely a little more flexible doing it during it sort of remotely, but I don't know if I would recommend it for everyone necessarily. Sometimes you really need that in the studio thing, and I still do that. Yeah. You know, it just depends on the project and the songs. And thankfully, as I was saying, the people that I hire that play, it feels good and grooves no matter if they're in the room with me or they're 10,000 miles away. Yeah. So I suppose I have that luxury of having access to players like that. But I do remote sessions all the time as a session player as well. So I'm familiar with the process.
Yeah. And you play that with a lot of drummers. You choose different drummers for each song.
For the baritone stuff. Well, the one record I did. Yeah. Yeah.
And I think that's a challenge because you have to make the production like sound even with different elements. So how you put that all together?
Very carefully. And of course, I got to hand it to my mix engineers that worked on that stuff, Joey Lomas and Max Stark, of course, for getting all that stuff together. But, thankfully these players are recording, they have great access to home studios or whatever studios that they're recording in. So people are getting good sounds. And then, I do tailor the instruments that I play tone-wise to just fit the whole production. If someone's drum set's going to sound wildly different than another person's drum set, that's totally fine.
Yeah.
You just treat each song like its own little world.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
And I think where the album starts to take shape is, all the songs are mine. They're all written by me. Yeah. It all has sort of my personality in there. It's, kind of one producer, which is me doing the whole thing. So even if the songs might feel different, they're all still cohesive.
Of course.
So
yeah. Okay. You're right.
And now, like, speaking of you working with different types of musicians, of course, you've worked with some of the greatest musicians in the world, but are there like any dream collabs that you haven't done yet that you're looking forward to do?
Yeah, I mean, sure. Oh gosh. Never play. I've probably said this in interviews before. I don't know if he's ever seen this, but I'd love to play with Pino Palladino. He's one of my favorite bass players. I'd love to play with Bernard Purdy on drums. I'd love to play with Alex Van Halen. I don't know what I would do, but it would be really fun. I'd love to work with, oh man, there's so many, gosh, I'd love to do something with Charlie Hunter. That would be really fun.
Okay.
Maybe we'll do that. I know him. He's a friend. I should just call him and ask him. I don't
so
know
if
what we
he
would
ever
do.
watches this.
Yeah. Well, I'll just text him. But anyway, so anyone that's played on a record that I've really enjoyed, I would love to probably play with.
Okay.
Nice. Yeah.
And
another collab that you've done recently that maybe we could say is more your most recent project would be like the Fearless Flyers.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
How did that come to be?
That was, if we go all the way back, Jack Stratton, the band leader of the band Wolfpack, had an idea to have a band with guitar in 3 registers and Nate Smith on drums. So Nate, I guess, was sort of the first guy he thought of, but then he wanted bass guitar, baritone guitar, and guitar. Obviously, Corey Wong and Joe Dart, he has immediate access to being members of Wolfpack. So those were the 2 guys. And then he needed a baritone guy. And I think they knew of me from playing in Snarky Puppy and all this sorts of thing, but I don't know if they were totally aware of the baritone thing until they stumbled upon something I had posted on social media. I don't know if it was Facebook, what platform it was. I don't remember, but it was like, oh, well, that's the guy. He's literally playing funk music on a baritone, which is what we need in this band. And so I got an email from Corey Wong, and I told him no.
Oh, wow, really? First time you told him no. Okay.
Yeah. Long story short, the project at that time was very vague, and I was very busy with other things. Okay. And I hadn't quite grown into my role as a baritone guitar player yet. So, there's a bit of an ego. It's like, well, I can play guitar with Corey. Well, I want to play with it. Let me play real guitar, So I got over that very quickly. Actually, it was my wife that told me I was an idiot. She was like, what are you doing? This is going to be awesome. Go play baritone, you goofball. And so that's what I did. And so I called Corey back. I was like, man, I don't know what I was thinking. Yeah, let's do it. And so that was it. So we got together in LA maybe like 2 months later and started making the records. So pretty fun.
Awesome, man. Yeah. I was actually listening to all of your records with the Fearless Flyers on the way here, and I was
cool.
just like,
yeah, it's a fun
I was
band.
doing the same thing in
it's
the
really
morning.
fun.
it made traffic a
Well,
lot,
cool.
a lot
There you
easier.
go. It's probably not good music for being stuck in traffic because it probably makes you want to speed.
Yeah.
But you know.
Yeah. Okay. And well, before, I don't know if you have like any ritual before going on stage or something that you do specifically before.
I what do I do? Not well. It depends. I usually kind of find a little bit of alone time, practice a little bit, say a prayer or two, you know, text the fam, tell them I'm going on stage, you know, whatever. And that's it. I maybe warm up a little bit. Like if it's a Snarky Puppy gig, usually once I get the set list, which is like 30 minutes before we go on stage, I grab my guitar and I go over parts that maybe I'm like, oh my gosh, I haven't played that song in 6 years. Like, how does this go? And then but you know, if it's a Mark Lettieri tour, it all depends. Sometimes I'm able to kind of relax and warm up, and other times I'm like dealing with the merch desk or like getting somebody, you know, friends into the show or whatever it is. I'm kind of doing a little bit of all the managing stuff myself, but it varies, you know. And then for the Flyers, it's basically just like me making sure my flight suit still fits, you know, after years of cheeseburgers.
It's nice to see that you always talked about your family.
I don't know.
It's amazing. And I saw that that even in your PRS signature guitar, like your family is in your guitar.
Yeah. I mean, I guess that's just kind of who I am as a person. I'm very happy as a family man and a dad and all that kind of stuff. And, you know, I don't know if as, you know, artists we're supposed to talk about that kind of stuff, but like, I don't care. Like I'm happy to be real and you know what it is. So yeah. So like my daughter picked the name for the guitar cause I couldn't come up with anything better. And my mom designed the logo because she's an artist and she's really good at that. And I didn't want my name on the front of the guitar. So I was like, we got to put something on the truss rod. So I was like, Mom, what are you doing? You know? So yeah. So somebody said something funny on one of the YouTube videos, a demo that I did for the Fiore. He goes, his kid better get a royalty check. It's like, well, she is. It's like, that's how this works. I'm attached. My money is her money. Yeah.
It's awesome that you talk about family, and also you were talking about how you are very involved with your solo project in your in the management and in in the merch desk and everything. And that ties to something that I wanted to ask you, because you have multiple successful projects and also you have families. So how do you manage your time to?
Yeah, sure. Well, I try to be as present as possible when I'm home. So like being very particular about when I'm working. You know, and I need to be better about it if we're being honest, because I like to work. I'm always thinking of things to do and things I need to get done, and you know, looking at my phone and just all the things that we all deal with now in the year of our Lord 2024, when we're all obsessed with our phones. But you know, like so, for example, I just finished a 10-day run with Snarky Puppy. I flew home for a day, and then I flew here to Mexico to do this. I'm flying home tomorrow, and I don't really have any live shows for another 2.5 weeks. So I'll be home. I'll be working from home from my home studio, but I keep like office hours. Like I get up early, take the kid to school, go back into my studio, you know, work from maybe like 9 to 2. And then I'm dad until like the kid goes to bed or whatever. And then maybe I'll go back to work. Maybe I won't. So it's usually I clean the kitchen. That's what happens after the kid goes to bed. So that's what it is. Yeah, I'm pretty boring on the weekends, you know.
Yeah, you need to rest.
Yeah,
yeah. You need to be boring sometimes.
That's right.
You do a lot of stuff, and it's really amazing. Thank you for sharing that with us.
Sure.
Also, I have a question. Now that you are here in Mexico and you travel a lot, like you have your pedal board and you selected pedals, can you give us like 3 pedals that you can travel without?
Oh, that's a good question. I generally take one J-Rocket Audio Designs Overdrive. Okay. It's either I take my signature pedal, the Melody, or I take like they have this pedal called the Dude, which is pretty cool, like higher gain. Yeah. Sometimes I'll take both of those. I usually take both of those because I can stack them, stuff like that.
Okay.
And then some kind of delay and some kind of reverb. And that's pretty much it. I mean, that's not it, but if I could only take three or four pedals, and then maybe a tuner or something.
Okay.
Because I have an aversion to keeping a headstock tuner on the headstock while I'm at the gig.
Okay.
It's one of my biggest pet peeves.
Yeah, I don't like that either.
if you do that, it's fine, but it bothers me.
Yeah, we get you.
Floor tuner for me. Yeah.
And following like with the more geeky questions, can you share with us like your practice routine for when you're practicing guitar?
Man, I get this question a lot, and I don't really have a practice routine.
Really? You just...
No, I just play a lot.
Okay.
I play a lot. I write a lot. I record a lot. And for me, maybe writing is practicing, but it's rare that I sit down and go, today I'm going to work on this fundamental or that thing. I mean, that's not to say that I don't do that, but if I do, it usually ends up turning into something creative anyway.
Okay.
So, like, I'm going to mess around with the melodic minor scale today. And then eventually I'm like writing a song. So it's like, okay, whatever, cool. And that's kind of always been my process. I mean, when I had a guitar teacher back in high school, I mean, he gave me stuff to learn and I would learn that. I would have it prepared for the next lesson. But primarily, I guess you could say I'm sort of self-taught with like great mentors, you know?
Yeah.
And so a lot of it's just self-discovery.
I'm playing
Whenever, and just playing and whenever you feel inspired. But I play every day.
Yeah.
I mean, I think there's a day I'm going on a vacation in a couple weeks or a couple months and I will not bring a guitar. So I will not play for a week, which is probably going to be weird, but whatever.
Yeah, I was actually going to ask you, does that feel weird for you?
Well, I'd feel dumber if I brought a guitar, on vacation.
Okay.
But, I don't know. I remember my buddy, when I got married, we were going to go to, going on our honeymoon to Hawaii. And I was like, I said to my friend who was in the wedding, I was like, so like when you went on your honeymoon, did you bring a guitar? He goes, no. So I was like, oh yeah, okay. But that's where my head was at. So it hasn't changed. So I probably will not bring a guitar. But you know what? It's an excuse to go to a great guitar shop like this and maybe just get yourself a present on vacation.
Why not?
You're checking locations nearby.
That's right.
Music stores nearby.
That's right. That's what you do. I've done it before.
Okay. Other thing is that, in your latest solo album, and can you tell us about the process of the production? And everything?
Let's see. The last thing I released was a live record, actually, called Live at the Iridium, that I did with my quartet, the Mark Lettieri group. But I do have an album coming out in July.
Oh, wow.
That's another studio record. So I don't know when this is going to air, but it's a studio record. Very, very excited about it. It's got 10 tracks. And we did a lot of it kind of remotely. Some of the guys were in the same room. Bass and drums were in the same room for a lot of stuff to get the groove, and then I kind of built the guitars around that.
Okay.
Et cetera, et cetera. But it's cool. I think if you've never heard me before, this is actually probably a good record to start with.
Okay.
Because it's kind of a combination. Well, it's kind of a combination of the baritone thing and then the non-baritone thing. So, but yeah, there's some rock stuff, some funk stuff, some kind of more abstract stuff. So I don't know. I'm really proud of it. I think this might be my best one yet. I don't know. We'll see.
Yeah.
Nice. So everybody knows if you want to check Mark's
July
work,
19th.
That's a nice way to start.
Yeah.
And like one last question that I wanted to ask you, like we're in this huge era of guitar. I think it's one of the best times to be a guitar player, and there's a lot of new guitar players to discover. So what guitar players besides you, obviously. Would you recommend like guitar players that are inspiring you today, like from the actual scene,
new players, etc.
Yeah.
Wow. I mean, there's a lot. I've always loved Ariel Posen's guitar playing.
Okay.
Ariel Posen's,
another guy is similar, but not really. Joey Landreth is another current fave. Gosh, there's a ton. I love Isaiah Sharkey. Mm-hmm. He's one of my favorites. Andy Wood, Corey Wong, who else? The Italian fellow, Matteo Mancuso, wild player, it's so fun to watch him play. My buddy Josh Smith, who else? Man, Chris Payton. I don't know if you guys have heard Chris Payton, super funky gospel R&B player. Oh my gosh. But yeah, it's a great time to be a guitar player.
Yeah,
Not a great time to be in the music business, but it's a great time
Well,
to be a guitar player.
It's crazy how the music industry is changing right
It's
now.
changing
Oh,
a
gosh,
lot.
I don't even know what to do. Just whatever. Buy a CD, please.
Yeah.
So,
Thank-
yeah, man.
Well, I think that's it for us. Thank you for hanging out with us, Mark.
Sure.
We appreciate it so
my
much.
pleasure.
Thank you for sharing all of your wisdom with us.
Yeah. Oh well. Hey.
Yeah,
Thanks for
and
having
being so like friendly and chill. You're
Yeah,
really
you're
cool.
This is a friendly couch. I'm feeling.
Yeah, so we hope we see you next time you visit
Yeah,
us.
absolutely.
The sword. This is like
Well,
your-
I'll bring my band. We'll do a.
Yeah, sure,
Whoa,
man.
yeah.
We would love to have
That would
like
be
a
amazing.
concert right
Great.
in here in the
Yeah,
store.
we probably
And
could do it in the store.
yeah,
I don't have space.
yeah, of course we will make space. But thank you.
Yeah, sure. Thanks, guys.
Thank you so much. This is the end of the video. Muchas gracias a todos por ver el video. Está increíble todo lo que platicamos con Mark y pues nos vemos en el siguiente video de Eusica.
Ciao, guys.